A very good morning to all. I'm Rachayata, and on behalf of Logistics Insider, I welcome you all to another Voice of Shippers session of our LinkedIn Live. Today's episode is powered by CargoFL, a cloud based B2B technology ecosystem for logistics. And the theme for today's episode is Fueling D2C Success with an Optimized Supply Chain. Though still pretty new to the Indian economy, direct to customer or D2C has surely made a grand entrance in India over a period of just a few years. And as far as the logistics part of it is concerned, it is a pretty exciting space. Whether we talk about procurement or last mile, every aspect of it just gives a feeling of thrill and sensation. Our guest for today is a highly dynamic leader. He's someone who sets a direction and then works with an energetic team to consistently achieve high reaching goals. He holds a Six Sigma black belt and has a patent to his name. His keen sense of business allows him to fuse his strategic outlook with his operational acumen. His team commends him for his innovative mindset and his contribution to their growth and development. So, without further ado, I take the pleasure to introduce to you our guest for today, Mr. Abhishek Agarwal, Senior Vice President, Supply Chain and Sourcing, Bombay Shaving Company. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you, Ruchita. A pleasure to be here. Thank you so much.
Big pleasure to have you. Before I commence picking his brains around the high octane D2C supply chain, I'd like to request our audience to please share their questions in the comments box below, and we'll try to take them up towards the end of the session. So let's dive in. My first question to you, Abhishek
Mm,
sir,
yeah.
is how do D2C supply chains differ from traditional e-commerce supply chains in terms of, say, operational opportunities and the challenges?
So I've been fortunate to having worked in companies like Colgate and Huhtamaki, which are traditional supply chains, let's say. And here in Bombay Shaving, it's we are an omni-channel company. We're present in we have our own website,
Hmm.
which gets close to around 50,000 orders. Uh, we also run the website for Durex and Infamil, which is Reckitt and Benckiser, which also are an
Yes.
investor. We also have our outlet. We are present in 35,000 outlets across the country. We have our own kiosk. We have our own laser clinic.
Hmm.
Plus, we are present in marketplace and e-com. So it's an omni-channel company, and with a lot of emphasis on D2C.
Hmm.
So if you compare a traditional company or traditional supply chain, it's engineered uh, for efficiency. Everything is efficient. The orders come in case packs. The orders go out in case packs. There are limited number of SKUs, and it's all around that turnaround time.
Hmm.
It's all about
Hmm.
cost and all about efficiency and getting in the perfect supply chain, getting it the right way, the right cost, the right value, the right price. But then when you
Absolutely.
have such a kind of an environment, it also takes a toll on agility. The whole ecosystem, including the ERP one uses, is
Hmm.
engineered for that. But then, let's say you ask the companies that okay, give me a stock which is personalized. As let's say we one of the fastest selling brands of Bombay Shaving Company is a personalized six part razor
Hmm.
system,
Hmm.
wherein we
Yes.
personalize the razor in your name, and it becomes a unique memorabilia for the customer.
Hmm.
So if you ask a traditional company that I want a personalized thing for me, which goes into a nice kit, which has all the
Hmm.
elements that you need for shaving, like a pre-shave scrub, with shave
Yes.
brush, with a shaving cream, with a personalized handle, then
Hmm.
that becomes a big challenge. So that's where the differences come in. That how can you be agile? How can you be quick? How can you adapt? How can you create different SKUs
Hmm.
at the spur of the moment and then tap onto the market demand and service the customer in a very unique way. So that's where the differences lie, and it's a completely different mindset. Having lived in both the sides of the world, it if you have to come from that side of the world to this side of the world, you literally have to unlock yourself and move into a very agile world. It's a different kind of thinking. The whole ecosystem around you, the whole team around you, the
Hmm.
ERP that we use, the warehouse, the way we run, it's very different. Obviously, there's a pros and cons. Everything has a pros and cons. You may have to sacrifice efficiency for speed and agility. But that's where the challenge comes, that how on a growing setup with your experience with this team can you make a D2C process agile but efficient? So that's the journey we have to cross, and we are in the process of crossing the journey.
Well, I mean, looking at the way that Bombay Shaving Company is growing, I'm sure that would be um, a very dynamic kind of a process, right? Handling the supply chain right from what's coming in to what's going out. So moving on, the last few years, we have seen a number of new as well as well-established brands getting into the D2C space. And in such a high competition, how can one stand out from the crowd? And what role does supply chain excellence play in this regard?
So it's always customer first. If you read Jeff Bezos' book about Invent, Wander, and his
Mm-hmm.
letters that he has written, it's very clear from 1995 when he started off, when he has written letters. It's a customer first mindset. It has to be. And here I've seen people go to the lengths of servicing the customer basis as needs. If orders are delayed, you need to feel the pain and say that yes, they're delayed for a reason. We are sorry, and we'll send a gift to you. We'll send a free gift to you along with the packet. But still, there are returns that come back to us, which we accept. So the customer first mindset, creating quick deliveries, servicing them, getting back to them when they have delays, making things possible during events like we had a Rakhi uh, festival just last week, and we had a good lot of good sales around it. We created a lot of unique gifts, and many gifts got created at the last moment because we felt that fragrance is doing well. So why not we create a kit? And generally, you don't have many brands in the men's grooming space. Thus, we've also launched a women's brand called Bombay recently. So again, we've seen men's and women's grooming space. There's not many brands. So by creating unique gifting experiences, by creating personalization, by creating events around events like Rakhi. You give the brother gives something to a sister, but sister would
Yes.
like to give something to a brother. So because now with the affordability coming in, if you give a 400, 500 nice, unique, perfume, bio,
Hmm.
nice gifting, then it creates a lot of difference. If you want to give to your father a personalized six-part razor with your name written, or a trimmer to your brother
Hmm.
which has his name written on it, then it's a very personalized experience which you'll always remember that, oh, my sister gave it to me. So
You're giving me
that
ideas.
Yeah, I mean that's one of the fastest selling things. So the trimmers,
Yeah.
like today, beard is a symbol of masculinity in today's
Hmm.
generation, right?
Hmm.
And so people would like to have personalized things, and that's where the memories, remembrances, and the way you gift it, the gift, the opening of the gift, everything is an experience. The question lies in how do you translate this experience into reality, and how do you ensure that
Absolutely.
you create a ecosystem, a supply chain, which is efficient, fast, agile, tracks the orders, tracks the grievances, and services and gives the package in the right way. Even the way you package your goods, it's very important
It's very
because
important. Yeah.
it should not break ultimately, right? Because we know how the logistics industry is, how they handle the packets. They're not going to change really for you. You may write fragile on a tape, you may write everything, you may pay two times the money. It's not going to change, I can tell you that. But what you can change is the way you pack, the way you make the kits, the way you get the kits inside your warehouse, and the way you test the kits. We do a lot of rigorous testing on kits to ensure that they don't break. And obviously we pay more. We get a good volume of kits and good quality of kits to ensure that the experience is there till the last mile with the customer. So that's the unique differentiating element one can have between companies in this space.
Absolutely. And like you said that there's a lot of things that especially around the festivals or special occasions, there are a lot of things that are going on, and of course we need to you know stay on stay on our toes. So how have the logistics service providers or the technology providers, especially in India, how have they restructured themselves to better serve the growing ecosystem of D2C supply chains or the D2C brands?
So the logistics industry has changed a lot. I've seen the last 18 years of my experience the way I've transformed. So you had the regular transporters, 10 trucks, 20 trucks kind of transporters. Um, they from there, the ecosystem has taken on modern age companies like Shiprocket, Delivery. Blue Dart was
Hmm.
always there, and they have also transformed them to to handle uh, D2C shipments. So,
Hmm.
so you see many companies coming to this. You have Express Bees. So again, these companies have basically taken on the technology and the transportation and infuse it together. So
Okay.
with these two hand in hand, what they've done is they've tried to provide you an intelligence wherein they're saying that these are the shipments you're giving to you're taking for us. These are your cost elements, and these are the pin codes where you're receiving returns, because returns is a
Hmm.
big pain in this business. And
Hmm.
they try
Hmm.
to tell you that
Right.
if you change the address in this way, your returns will reduce because the courier can find that
Hmm.
particular address very easily, because the address sometimes are
Yeah.
like बरगद के पेड़ के नीचे वाला घर के सामने वाला घर, और बरगद के पेड़ के नीचे कौन सा घर, ये समझ में नहीं
But
आएगा.
is
So
that
they,
really, does that really happen?
yeah, that you, it's India. I mean, it's you got so many pin codes. You're not living in a residential society, right? So, uh, so, so they are basically offering you tech support to say that,
Hmm.
like, we can
Hmm.
reduce your returns. We are a partner with you in your cost, and they are giving you analytics to say that this is how you can improve your cost. This is how your weight breakup is. This is how your pin code breakup is. So you go back and then you work backwards to improve the way you collect the customers' data or refine the addresses
Hmm.
and improve the speed and service. And most importantly, they give you a platform like Shiprocket or Delivery have a nice platform where you can see everything, on a dashboard. So it becomes very easy for the customer facing team to track. In fact, some of them have gone a step further to even call up customers on your behalf, send WhatsApp messages,
Oh,
and
okay.
because many of the times people are not in the home, right?
Hmm.
So
Hmm. Right.
if you've seen, you get a WhatsApp message that your delivery is on the way. If you're not okay for this time, click to change
Hmm.
the
Hmm.
time.
Right. Right.
So
Absolutely.
it's so convenient. It's really convenient, and it services us because we don't want to return. Ultimately, I've
Hmm.
I've incurred a cost for shipment. I've incurred a cost of packing. My package is gone. I don't want
Hmm.
it to come back, because if it comes back, I don't even know what state of condition
Yeah.
will it be. Thus, I have to incur all
Yes.
those costs. So that's it. Transformation the industry has seen from a full truck, parcel load to a modern tech-enabled deliveries.
Hmm. Hmm. Right. And I think visibility is something that the logistics industry is rigorously working on, because that's like it's. I think it's somewhat like a holy grail of a
Correct.
successful logistics ecosystem. Apart from what all you mentioned, is there anything else you'd like to add when we talk about leveraging technology to optimize a D2C supply chain in particular?
So technology is an important part in a D2C supply chain. The See, you have to, when you handle so much complexity, and you have to have agility, technology has to be there. But then
Hmm.
technology has to be simple, because in a company funded by P venture capitalist, capital and cost is important because you're not
Hmm.
making profits. You're in a bit
Right.
negative company, so you cannot afford these softwares which are expensive. You cannot afford to hire the likes of expensive ERP softwares and then
Hmm.
spend
Hmm.
6 months in implementing and
Hmm.
integrating it. So
Hmm.
it's always a question becomes: do you want perfection, or do you want agility? Because you're always running around.
Right.
So that's where we go for tech which suits our needs at this time. May not be tomorrow, right? Maybe it's something else tomorrow. But at this time, for next 1 year pace, with a 1 year horizon, does this tech help me or not? That becomes a question. So nobody's talking of 10. I mean, the vision is of 10 years from now, but then do you want to implement an expensive ERP solution which may help you, over a long period, or you want to first survive, thrive, and then take on and move to the next platform? So that's where we use Vinculum, when we found them to be a pretty good niche partner. It's an OMS software, order management software. We use it in our warehousing, that and we use Tally. Tally is an invoicing platform. So, but these two platforms don't talk to each other for the way Tally is designed. But Vinculum services most of our needs, and they are customizable. So they offer a lot of easy, quick customization. So it's not like, okay, oh, customization is going to take 10 days. I have to hire an army of software people to take care of it, which normally happens in a typical company, right? But here it is quick. It is not. It's not so mumbo jumbo. So you
Yeah,
use a
you
tech.
have to be nimble.
Yeah. So you use a tech which is nimble. Obviously, it's again there's a pros and cons, because it's not the perfect solution. It's an OMS system. It's not an ERP solution, and you use that to manage your complete ordering process. It is well integrated with Shopify, the front end website order, and this platform is also integrated with all the marketplaces and all the other avenues like Cred. We are big on Cred.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah.
so Cred is integrated with Vinculum, and Vinculum is integrated with Blue Dart and Delivery. So I get an end-to-end API integration, and that gets into my order, and then it's end-to-end tracked. As of now, it serves my purpose, right? So
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
so at least I know that for next 1 or 2 years, I'm fine with this. But then once scale kicks in, I have to go for an ERP solution. So that's how we use tech for our advantage.
Right. And I think for not just for D2C, but for any organization whose operations are so um, fast paced, I think it's important that you really take your time deciding on the tech that you want and what suits your need as well as what is available, right?
Correct.
Talking about the demand forecasting, what does D2C offer an edge over the other models in terms of demand forecasting, and what does it translate to for the brand?
So demand forecasting here is pretty. It's quite tough because you're growing company. You're almost doubling every year. So you're always in a race. You're always increasing. There's no baseline. The this the forecasting algorithms that you learn in your college, or you see, are more matured because they look at the past historical data. Plus, it's spread over a longer time, and plus it's more streamlined. It has got less events of an activation, or let's say Amazon Marketplace, or those kind of activations coming in. So the data is more streamlined. The baseline data is much better. That helps you to give better
Yeah.
forecasting modeling one can do. In a D2C setup where you're changing and constantly adapting to the market, you're doing performance marketing, you're selling on Amazon, and you suddenly spend on a trimmers and say that, okay, this I would spend money and make it the top seller. So again, it's a promotion, and it will lead to a spike of sales. But then
Okay.
tracking the data, making it baseline, and then saying this is my baseline data, now this is the forecasting model apply, it's almost impossible. So one has to invert the glass and say that instead of glass being half empty, I'll say glass is half full. And then you have to look at
Right.
agility, that how can I store, how can I use inventory uh, smartly across my channel or across my chain. That is my packaging suppliers, my manufacturing suppliers, my warehouse, and build scale to service it. So it could mean that you take on a warehouse space which is slightly bigger than your needs, but then your cost of out of stock versus the cost of obsolescence, what's the ratio? If the ratio is too high, means that if I'm buying a product at 10 rupees, but I'm selling it at 100 rupees, let's say, or let's say not 100, but I'm selling it 50 rupees. A lost sale is five times the cost of obsolescence.
Purchase.
And
Yeah.
in obsolescence, if I can sell it at cost, or if I can sell it at, let's say, half the cost, then still I'm recovering 5 versus 50. It's 1:10 ratio. So that's why I said it's a glass which is half full. I
Right.
mean, you have to look at it in that way, approach it in that way, and then create ecosystems which can handle the complete obsolescence, returns, uh, damaged cartons, the complete chain. And that's where once you create that ecosystem, then you have nailed it. So going the traditional route, like I explained to you, versus this route is the journey one has to transcend in this kind of a
Right.
ecosystem.
Right, right. That's completely different from each other. There's
Yeah.
one thing that while you were talking, I just came to my mind. Um, ONDC is in quite in hype these days, and with D2C brands already doing a lot of investment and work on their supply chains. ONDC is being said that it's not just B2C, but it's also B2B. So how do you think can ONDC positively impact or make a value addition to the already almost perfect supply chains of D2C brands?
So my understanding of ONDC is that it's like a marketplace wherein everyone can come together and start selling, and it may lead to a different way of buying or having more options of buying. So for us, getting onto ONDC is a priority, and our partner Vinculum is integrated with the ONDC. That means my
Hmm.
supply chain in a way can get onto ONDC very quickly.
Right.
That's the most important part you need to understand. That is your tech
Hmm.
enabled with ONDC? Is it integrated?
Hmm.
Because there's an
Yes.
API. API means a software to software talk. That has to happen.
Right.
If that happens, then you only need to design the front end. The back end is already
Hmm.
in place. So
Hmm.
that's what
Hmm.
we've ensured.
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay.
Point number two is that if you see typically from a sales perspective, virtually men's grooming or women's grooming as a brand or as an option is virtually non-existent today. It's coming up thanks to new age brands. But then
Hmm.
if ONDC can offer us the opportunity to sell or reach out to many more sellers who may have a lot of gifting needs. For example,
Hmm.
during
Hmm.
Diwali today, I'm just saying it's my personal view, but
Yeah.
chocolates or confectionaries or dry fruits. I mean,
Hmm.
we do get a lot of stuff, but do we really need, right? Can we have an
Right.
alternate to that gifting, which is much
Yes,
more usable
absolutely. Hmm.
and much more healthy or much more actually you'll use it, right? And can it
Hmm.
be
Hmm.
personalized? So we're getting a
Yeah,
lot of
much
queries for
thoughtful.
yeah, we're getting a lot of queries for a lot of gifting. Like recently at a seminar, one of the biggest watch brands asked us, can you design personalized trimmers for all our distributors with their
Hmm.
names in it, and we want to give it to them as a gift during Diwali. We said yes, why not? So they have
Hmm.
around 1,000 dealers across the country, and they want to make a nice kit with their brand name and their
Hmm.
names on it. I said, yes, we can do it. It's a massive supply chain nightmare. Imagine
Hmm.
1,000 getting the names right. You can't even have a misspelling on the names.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
so you have to be very careful. But yes, he said we can do it. So that's why I'm saying ONDC may offer us those kind of possibilities which may get limited in current way because somebody else dictates what you put, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
But with all the MSMEs, everyone connecting onto one platform, the possibilities will only open up, not come down.
Right. Right. Moving on, what do you think? Like, what role does D2C play in contributing to the sustainable part of supply chains, in inducing sustainability?
So D2C has to take the lead in sustainability, actually. If you see the traditional way of buying, let's say pre-Amazon, pre-Flipkart days, we used to go to a shop, maybe with a cloth bag, and
Hmm.
buy our goods and come back. Here now, people are going and ordering, and a lot of corrugate boxes with inside packing
Yes.
material comes with it. So, but that's convenience, right? And plus in India recycles all the corrugate. So any corrugate box you throw, it actually gets recycled. So technically it's a recycling, but the packaging quantum has jumped up. So as D2C brands, we are working very hard to ensure that the package that we use, the material that we use inside for packing, is all eco-friendly.
Hmm.
It's all recyclable, and we are working massively to reduce the weight of corrugate or weight of paper inside it without compromising on the quality of the package. So
Hmm.
that's an important aspect we all D2C brands can play in this journey.
All right. So my last question to you for today would be about your outlook for brands reliant on the D2C model for short and the long run.
I would say D2C is here to stay. Um, the way D2C works is agile, personalized. Everyone wants
Hmm.
personalization today. I
Hmm.
mean, the whole question is all about affordability. If by gifting a 500 rupees Raki set to your brother can bring smiles on both their faces, which someone never expects. In fact, many of my friends called me up for that, saying thanks for your nice gift. It made it special.
Hmm. Hmm.
Then that's what D2C does, right? Which was not possible earlier.
Right.
The range of choices D2C offers on websites or through marketplaces is huge. You may not get
Hmm.
it in offline store because offline is a limited space.
Yes. Yes.
So the possibilities are immense. The possibilities for customization are immense. The way things can change are immense. So D2C is here to stay and here to grow. And as the economies grow, as the tech grows,
Hmm.
this will
Hmm.
keep growing.
And I
That's
think with, yeah, please go ahead.
no, no, go ahead, please. Yeah.
I was just saying that with, we've been talking about how the pandemic has changed the entire pattern of consumer behavior, how things used to be and how things are now. I think D2C fits in that box pretty well when we talk about the modern customer or the Generation Z customer. And I think
Yes.
that that can be leveraged to a larger extent.
Correct. Yes, that can be done. So the fast tracking can happen basis. I mean, fast tracking needs an agile mindset. See, the whole for a company which wants to get into D2C space, the uh, the the agility in the team is very important. For many large companies, what we see is that the different departments have to talk to each other, and they have to get onto a platform. It's not like, oh, D2C is just one another arm of me. No, it's not like that. D2C is in me. It is us. So
Hmm.
unless
Hmm.
that comes in, it's very difficult. If you treat it as a separate arm, a separate chain, a separate P&L, then that's it. It's not going to work out.
Yeah.
So it's a very different way of the way things happen, and it has to be agile. Tomorrow somebody says, okay, I'm going to create a new combo, and you have to get this packing material, get this thing, get this kit. It can't be,
Hmm.
अरे यार चलो एक और डब्बा आ गया, अरे अब उसको टेस्ट करना पड़ेगा, मतलब. And what I'm trying to say is that the mindset has to be, wow, it's a nice kit, come on, let's do it, come
Hmm.
on, let's,
Hmm.
and it has to be done. No
Right.
excuses around that. So that's the fast tracking companies have to do to get onto that bandwagon. I hope I could
Right.
answer your last question.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So, well, that was surely a plate and palette full of knowledge, and I'm sure it would have been as enlightening to our audience as it was for me. So, in the interest of time, we'll just take one question that we have here. Um, that question is from Mr. Rohan Tambare. He says, how are you reducing the problem of wrong, incomplete, or incorrect addresses updated by customers? And is there a check to see that contact numbers mentioned are authentic?
It's a good question, Rohan. No, I don't see. We can check the contact numbers are correct or authentic. But the addresses, like I mentioned in this interview, uh, we we we've seen tech, like Shiprocket has a very interesting tech. They showed us wherein give um, they can give about a customer basis their platform, because they service a lot of customers on a platform. They can say that this customer has a high risk of an RTO return, because he or she may be a customer who may order a lot and may be returning a lot because of shopping habits. But that's not a binding point for you. So So they can offer a technology around telling that this address or this customer is a high return customer. If your address is coming in this way, then there's a most likely it may not get delivered to you. But that's more of a post mortem analysis. That's not a pre mortem analysis. So you have to then they can give you the data that this is a repeat customer. So please call up this customer, fix this address, and refine it for next time. That is one. Second, what I said is not really linked to your question, but just an addendum to a thing is that they are coming up with technology to say this customer has a high risk profile. So this it's not linked to address or contact, but they are also saying that this customer is more likely to return. So don't offer him a COD option. The returns are typically high in COD options. We've seen that it's in multiple double digits, mostly for the companies across the space. So they're saying that don't offer a COD option, cash on delivery option for such kind of customers. So that's why they're very, I mean, answering the question, that's what we're seeing in the tech space.
Right. I think this is all that we have. Yeah. So, with this, I really thank you, Abhishek sir, for taking out time for us, especially on a holiday, that too on a morning. Thank you so
Thank
much. And I'd also like to thank our sponsor for the session, CargoFL. Well, this has been a lovely morning, and thank you all of us so much for joining. And have a great rest of the day. Bye bye.
Bye.